Spoilers for songs in Deltarune. I was out for a run one day and was singing the song Scarlet Forest when I noticed that the end of Scarlet Forest kinda sounded like the end of Field of Hopes and Dreams. Both of these lead into the Don't Forget leitmotif that's common throughout Chapter 1.
Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark.
However, Don't Forget doesn't have the part before that's present in Scarlet Forest and Field of Hopes and Dreams. Okay, so this is just a similarity that two area themes of Chapter 1 share, nothing else, right? What about Card Castle? Does that have a similar tune to the other two areas? The answer to that question is no, which would suggest that there isn't an area theme leitmotif as I had thought, just something that only two songs share that both happen to be area themes. The song Card Castle sets up the song for the final battle of the chapter, Chaos, essentially just being it but slowed. Practically the same song. But what about Chapter 2? Perhaps there's a pattern to be had, where the first two main area themes have a similar tune somewhere, and then the final area sets up the battle song. The answer to that question is yes. A Cyber's World and Welcome to the City sound quite similar at multiple parts. It's not unsurprising that two similar themed areas would sound the same, but if it's a pattern, it could be interesting. Does the final area theme set up the final fight of the chapter? Of course, it's Toby. Pandora Palace sets up the attack of the Killer Queen, but not to the extent that Card Castle is to Chaos King. Essentially, Pandora Palace is a different song. So, what could this mean? The easiest takeaway from this is that each of the chapter area themes will follow this pattern. They'll have a similar part of the song that lines up with the non-final area song, and then the final area will have a theme similar to the final battle. You could probably call it something like an area or chapter leitmotif. The Chapter 1 leitmotif would be the end of Fields of Hopes and Dreams and Scarlet Forest. And then the Chapter 2 leitmotif, well, the beginning and the end are not the same within a song, but they are shared within the song. And then the final area theme will lead into the final battle, just being the leitmotif of the person the final battle's for. So, is that it? A neat connection between area themes. I wouldn't be dragging this out if I didn't think that this had more to offer. Slight spoiler for Earthbound/Mother 2. Toby Fox decided Earthbound as being a major inspiration for Undertale and Deltarune, with some lines even being direct Earthbound quotes such as, "You won't get through your teenage years without at least one egg," said by Lancer after you bring the Card Kingdom Darkners to Castletown. Early in Earthbound, Ness receives a Sound Stone. Throughout the game, you are tasked with going around the world through many areas and collect the melody of Your Sanctuary. Don't ask me why it's named that. After you arrive in a Your Sanctuary, you get a melody from each one and you can listen to them on the Soundstone. Each one has different short tunes. The Soundstone is important as once you collect all of the Your Sanctuary melodies, something magical happens that powers Ness up. But I won't say what because spoilers. Earthbound's great, and if you can play it and you have 20 hours to spare, I'd recommend it. I hear there's a similar system to the Soundstone in Earthbound Beginnings/Mother, but I haven't played that one yet. So, how does this relate to Deltarune? Well, so far we've had 2 chapters with 2 different themes that get shared between the areas of each chapter. What if, like in Earthbound, all the area themes were used together, powering you up? Although we do lack something like the Soundstone to make this happen. More realistically, a mashup of sorts would probably play in the final area if it had elements of other areas, perhaps during something climactic like the Roaring, which an interpretation of it could be all the previous Dark Worlds being present at once, and other too, which would result in combined themes. If this were to happen, it'd be really cool, and it'd also popularize the other area themes. There's not much significance to it other than it just being cool and also referencing past areas. Although, if it does happen, I can't wait to hear it. Toby would do a good job of that, and anyone else he chooses to help with the music. My next video should be about analyzing all the Deltarune puzzle signs, but that's 27 pages and this is 3, so it's gonna take a while. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a sparktacular day. Perhaps during something climactic like the Roaring, which an interpreter Now, if this were to happen, it'd be really cool, and it'd also papyrus.